So, Asha, I've got the test results back on your healer anxiety, and I'm sorry to say I'm going to have to diagnose you with you've been spamming GCDs.
I okay. Okay.
Um, so we're going to walk
Valid.
through all your different abilities and how you should actually be playing Sage, because the last thing you want to do is to actually use your like main shields that you start with. Those suck. Don't use them unless you absolutely have to.
Okay. Okay. Hello, I'm back. Okay.
Hello.
Anyways, continue.
Okay.
Purple
So,
box.
I actually changed my mind anyway. So, we're going to
Okay.
start somewhere different. So, the bubble.
Tight. Okay.
Caracoli.
The got it.
Yes, this one. So, this does three different things. One, it reduces damage by 10%.
Okay.
It grants regen. And it restores 7% of your maximum MP. So, those things
Okay.
combined should tell you that you should spam that as much as you can. It has a recast of 30 seconds. It lasts for 15, and it is extremely useful. It is the main thing you should be using. Because when people talk about shield healers, they're actually referring to mitigation healers, because your shields are the least effective part of your arsenal.
Got it.
So you want to be mitigating as much as possible. So yeah, the bubble is the best thing you can use. When the bubble wears off, I like to use Physis because it grants a slightly stronger regen, and also increases HP recovered by recovery actions.
Oh, so when bubble runs out, you want to use physis too.
Yeah, and then
Got it.
by the time Physis wears off, bubble should be back up.
Okay.
That'll leave you about 15 seconds without something to use, because there'll be another because Physis has a longer cooldown. But by that time, you should be late enough in the poll that some things have started to die, and you don't need as much healing.
Okay. So pop bubble first, and then physis,
Yeah, and then bubble again.
and then bubble again. Okay.
So the important thing to remember is that those are both off cooldown. So you should be casting them in between damage dealing spells.
Okay.
So the big thing, and this is universal to all healers, but Sage in particular, is that all of your good healing spells can be woven into your damage rotation. Which I say damage rotation, it's spamming doses. But so you want to be dealing damage as much as possible, but especially with Sage, because when you cast a damage spell with Sage, that's the only time that you're doing your bonus healing. So
Okay.
you basically almost never want, it's the always be casting rule, right? You always want to be casting a damage dealing spell.
Right.
And then we start getting into all of the other buttons, because Sage has a lot and they all do slightly different things.
Should I be organizing my buttons to the order that I should be starting?
It's super up to you how you organize them. I have them in a way that makes sense in my brain. My hotbars are also jank though, because I have them set up to reflect my mouse. The way I have it set up just meshes really well with my brain, and the way I have
Okay.
other casters set up and stuff like that.
Okay. That makes sense.
So it's totally up to personal preference.
God, can we get new names for these?
Don't like Greek?
Can I do.
You don't like ancient Greek?
I don't. I can't say hi, Shinji. I can't say I do. Huh. All right. Okay.
Yeah, they're all words that are ultimately meaningless in my head, and I only know them by the buttons.
It's kind of like parallelograms.
The
When am
only
I
one
going to use that in real life?
The only one I actually remember what it means is pepsis, and that's because that means digestion, and that was what that ability does. It means you eat your shield. And so that's the only one I remember.
Fair enough. Okay. All right. So I'll just leave this unlocked, and then we'll. Okay. All right.
Okay. So I'm gonna kind of go like just kind of talk through like what I would do during like a normal like wall to wall pull, because
Okay.
all these abilities are very situational. So like I honestly don't think about too much what I'm doing. I just know what the abilities do, which will come with time for you, and when to use them in like boss fights. Because like as far as healing the like boss fights, like healing in boss fights is pretty much just like your bubble and your physis will take care of most of the healing for most people in most cases. And then like
Okay.
healing the tank is just you're dealing damage, and so the tank is getting healed, right? So like
Hi,
as
Shinji.
in casual content, it's pretty much just like, oh, a raid wide's coming up, so I'll pop polos, like stuff like that.
Okay. Okay.
So like, yeah, like it's just about what learning those abilities do. But wall to wall pulls are where things get hectic for Sage, because you have all these very situational abilities, and you have to kind of
Right.
combine them in order to get like their max potential.
Right.
So like,
Right.
Haima is a great example of like your default, this is your best skill you can use. So it's basically applies 5 stacks of the shield that you would put down with like your normal Eucrasian diagnosis, the normal shield.
Right.
And so it'll basically just chew through 5 shields. So you just pop that at the beginning of the pull, or at the beginning, like when the tank stops and everything starts attacking him. You pop Haima, and that plus the bubble will keep them solid for a good 15 seconds until those run out.
Okay.
And then I pop Physis and Toracoli. Because Toracoli reduces target damage taken by 10%. So you get the damage buff. It heals him because he'll probably have lost some health by the time you cast it. And Physis also has a boost to HP recovering. So
Okay.
it actually it turns it into a 770 cure potency. So it just makes it slightly better.
Okay.
And that's kind of like the basics of it. Like, so like you kind of start stacking things up like that. Like I stack Haima and Caracoli, and then I stack Physis and Toracoli. Then I pop a bubble, and then I don't know. There'll usually be other stuff ready. Let's talk about the other collies.
Yay!
So they're pretty simple. Ixocali's a group heal for 400 potency, and Druocali's a single target for 600 potency. Those are just
Okay.
they're still off cooldown, and they just heal. So like Druocali's a pretty solid group heal, especially when you pair it with something like Zoe, which boosts the magic potency of your next healing spell, or Krasis,
Right.
which increases HP recovery via healing actions. So yeah, it's a decent enough heal. Really though, the goal is to make sure nobody's ever at a point where you need to oh shit heal. Like that's the goal of Sage, right? You want to be
Right.
You don't necessarily need to memorize every fight. It's just like, especially with like the wall to wall pulls, you just want to make sure you're getting shields down on the tank, so that way it's never at a point where you're having an oh shit moment. Like especially in the level 80 and 90 dungeons, I can usually keep the tank, all things considered, above 90 HP.
Okay.
And that should kind of be the goal. If you're doing everything right, during a wall-to-wall pull, the tank shouldn't drop below, like, around 90.
Okay.
So, and that, I know that sounds hectic, but once you start getting a feel for everything, it'll be a lot easier, and also you'll be a lot less panicked during fights because the tank won't be dropping in HP.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's kind of hard to just talk through, but
Should we do like an unsynced dungeon?
so I guess what we'll do is for the Omen, pull one pack at a time, and I'll heal on the first pack just to kind of explain what I'm doing,
Okay.
and then we'll have you do the second pack.
Okay.
So Omen's pulling, I'm dropping Haima and Torashul. Phlegma is it's just a better it's a better AoE. And then now that I have those going, I'm just spamming my AoEs.
You said Phlegma and oh.
Yeah, Phlegma 3.
Okay. Okay.
We'll do one more, just because that went by really quick, because we're unsynced. So, dropping Torashul here, and since Haima's not up, I'm doing Pan Haima. Just as an alternative. It's not really as strong, because each shield's a little bit weaker, but it does basically the same thing. And then I just spam AoEs to get that heal.
Interesting. Okay. Okay. Alright. So... Okay.
Like that.
Okay. Okay. Might have killed that way too fast, but alright.
It's okay, we're going easy mode right now, so that there's no stakes.
This is true. This is true. Ooh. 4.
And they actually added something in Dawn Trail 2. They added an AoE dot. So you know how you pop your dot normally? You just do the same thing but with your AoE.
Oh yeah, it's yeah, okay, okay.
Which I love. I love that they do.
Okay.
So now we're coming up to a boss. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna drop a shield on everybody. I'm also gonna put an extra shield on the tank. The reason being is when those shields break, it gives you a purple, one of the purple things. Those deal the exact same potency as your normal Dosis, but you can use them while running. So like, if I'm ever in a point where I can't cast, like, because the boss is doing an AoE or something, I'll use those. And so it's good to just kind of have them, you know? But the same rules apply. You don't want to be applying shields when you could be doing damage. But since we're running up to the boss room right there, and we can cast those while running, it's just like, okay, I'll put free shields on everybody real quick.
Right, okay.
And then when they break, it gives me stacks of the Toxicon.
Okay. Okay.
So that's kind of the only time you should be using the shields, is when you, like when the boss is gearing up for like an enrage, and you can't really be attacking anyway, then that's fine to pop a shield then, because that's just extra mitigation for that AoE, for the raid wide.
Okay. Okay. Hollows?
Yeah.
When should I be using that?
Use it in place of the shield. So like if a raid wide's gonna happen, it basically does the exact.
That's just a heal, right?
That actually is the exact same thing as the Eucrasian prognosis. It's the same thing, but it's off cooldown and it's on a 2-minute timer. So like it's a free shield to use during a raid wide. So like most bosses will do a raid wide at the beginning, and then somewhere 2/3 into the fight they'll do another one. For the second one, I'll do Holos. so I'm not spending time putting down a shield.
Okay.
And then
Okay.
Pepsis is good for oh shit situations because you can get a pretty big heal out of it because it'll combine the normal heal from Eucrasian Prognosis, so that gives everybody a 100 potency shield, and then Pepsis eats the shield and then does an extra 350. So it's actually even
What is? Go ahead.
It's even stronger than your Ixicali. If
Okay.
you do the shield and then Pepsis, it'll eat the shield and then heal everybody for the shield, or for that.
What is Rizomata?
Rizomata just grants an extra stack of the blue if you're out and you need it. There's plenty of times where you'll have gone through, because Karakali eats all the Kalis eat your blue, and when you're out of blue, that's bad sometimes because those are your good heals that you can use in a no shit situation. And so if you ever need it, why would you do that, Omen? If you ever need it, you can pop that and it'll give you an extra stack of blue.
Okay.
And then Soteria is a fun one. It just makes your normal Cardia, which is the heal from dealing damage, it just makes it better for 4 stacks for 4 attacks.
Okay.
So like that's another one to use during pulls, is like the tank starting to take damage. You use that and it does more healing. Whenever
Not
you need
Omen
it.
telling me these are shapes, bitch. Also, hi pizza. Okay. So I feel like I'm just gonna have to dive in with the new order that I have. I feel like I'm gonna have to dive in a little bit.
You will have an infinitely easier time once you start using the OGCDs, and it'll just click better, right? It'll just start making sense because you won't be panic healing, you won't be panic spamming Eucrasian Prognosis 2, is the main thing.
I feel like we both learn better by
By doing.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let's get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, let's bounce.
Yeet.
So there's one more ability that I need to cover, and that's Numa. It's actually very simple.
Pause. Okay.
Oh, there was one more, like the advanced strat I was talking about, which I don't know if you want to care about right now, but while the tank is running from pack to pack, like for the wall-to-wall pull, I like to use the shields then, so I can like use the Toxicon while I'm running.
Okay.
Because like the shield will go down pretty quick. It'll just keep the tank at full while you're running, and then you get some extra DPS while you're running. I am going to do a big pull, so have fun. Remember what I said about the shields and running?
Oh, yeah. Okay. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Okay. Yeah. Oh, God. Okay. Huh?
All right, here we go.
Okay. Okay. Don't like this. Not a huge fan of this.
I popped hollow ground, we're fine.
Okay.
We just gotta get some of these guys dead.
Oh, you're dying very fast.
Yep. Go ahead and spam
Oh yeah.